It was definitely a little bit of a reprieve on Friday when the Moody's decision was just a downgrade to the outlook and not actually a downgrade of the rating to junk. But some of it does depend on Eskom, and we're looking for some clarity on what happens with Eskom this week. What's your best reading?
Well, the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan, did announce a path to restructuring, which effectively involves the corporatization of the transmission. But where they failed to deliver from a market perspective was on a plan for two things. One, the restructuring of the balance sheet and dealing with the debt, and two, on the operating costs, which remain too high relative to the overall net debt of 14 times to EBITDA. So they have to articulate a restructuring plan on the debt and effectively take out around 250 billion of the 450 billion of debt to put it in a place where it can support the payment of the interest on that debt. And effectively, Moody's has said they should effectively take that on the government's balance sheet, but provide a comprehensive restructuring plan for the operating costs and for the corporate reorganization. And again, this is where the rubber hit the road. Will they get the union backing to do this? And will the government take the pain, which I believe they should do in both cases?
Right, because I want to ask you, how on a knife edge is South Africa with this question? Creditors are not going to be very sympathetic to Eskom, right? So as long as the creditors hold out, there is the very, very clear and present danger that Moody's will eventually go through with a downgrade, at which point South Africa is in dire straits with its sovereign creditors.
Well, certainly more of the same is not going to cut it with Moody's. So I think they have to take the action. And, you know, it's absolutely clear that they have no alternative but to deal with this. The good news, though, is when you look at it, the interest cost of keeping it on Eskom's balance sheet is going to be greater than taking it onto the government's balance sheet, but the government's on the hook anyway. So I keep on saying to those who will listen that it's actually cheaper for them to take it on the government's balance sheet than it is for them to keep it on Eskom's.